If I'm going to spotlight some movies this year that are considered to be the actual worst movies ever made, then I'm going to need a little bit of a helping hand. And by helping hand, I mean a big old bowl of reefer. Ha! I gotcha! I was just testing you. I'm not using any of that shit, because after watching the 1936 film Reefer Madness, I now know that smoking pot is wrong and will turn me into an axe murderer. Financed by church groups to be used as a warning against the use of marijuana, even the 1930s said fuck this movie when exploitation filmmaker Dwayne Esper, the man behind Sex Maniac and How to Undress in Front of Your Husband, purchased the rights, inserted his own shots, and marketed it as an exploitation film. So you can watch this film after hours with your pants unzipped. Just don't smoke any pot while doing it! French director Louis Gasnier directed the film, and he just looks like the life of the party. The movie was inspired by the case of Victor Licata, who killed his family with an axe and blamed the whole incident on the use of pot. Later on, we would start blaming such things on the Amityville house. It made for much better movies. But who can resist the forbidden fruit of Reefer Madness? It's for adults only, and is about that sweet little pill. Except it's not a pill. That makes life bitter. I believe you mean better? Wait, see youthful marijuana victims? What the fuck, 30s fetish? Also, it may turn you into a zombie who works as a miniature cigarette holder. The original title for the film was Tell Your Children. Only in that day and age would you be asked to tell your children about the exploitation flick you and your mom went to see. And if that isn't enough of a warning, you better believe the opening is packed with text crawls. The incidents and characters portrayed in this motion picture are purely fictional. Well, great! So it's okay for me to smoke weed then! The motion picture you're about to see may startle you. I've seen E.T. take it in the ass! The crawl then talks about how pot is the new drug menace that's destroying youth, even worse than the banana peel challenge. It's the real public enemy #1. Well, James Cagney may disagree with you on that. It causes violent, uncontrollable laughter, dangerous hallucinations, time slows down, loss of all power to resist physical emotions, and shocking acts of violence. Well, the opening was right about this being fictitious. You should try something safer, like booze. It doesn't do any of that stuff. Yeah, take that, 1936! And that dreaded marijuana may be reaching forth next to our son or daughter, or yours, or capitalized yours. Just keep telling yourself it's only a movie, it's only a movie, and in 36 years, Last House on the Left will come out. The results of Speed, however, are having an amazing effect on the newspaper business. They're churning out papers left and right. We open on a school meeting where the subject is Tell Your Children, formerly titled Reefer Madness.
That is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, to lay the foundation for a nationwide campaign by you to demand by law such compulsory education. Because it is only through enlightenment that this scourge can be wiped out.
Can't we focus on something more menacing, like Nazis? They're all whispering to warn their dealers that Narky von Tattelsberg is coming for them. But this dude knows his shit about pot production.
A field of marijuana was found behind a tenement court. The weed was here being cultivated, regularly stripped and dried and sold in schools and at government army posts in and around New York.
Well, that's where the movie's budget went.
And made into cigarettes by a simple hand machine. The deadly narcotic is thus quickly and easily prepared for its market. They are hidden in fake jewelry cases.
Thanks. Now I know how to roll my own joint and where to hide my stash. This movie is educational. Serves them right for not hiding their pot in a full barrel, dumbass potheads. This'll learn you. We're burning all your blocks of delicious cheddar cheese. And this old room in town's about to get some secondhand happiness. But if this isn't enough to scare you, Dr. Carroll here has some real-life stories about the effects of marijuana use. Make up your damn mind, movie. You told me earlier that this was fictional. I am not falling for your lies. Alright, fine. So let's start this prequel to I Accuse My Parents.
You better get on the job. Some of the kids may be up this afternoon.
Oh, Jack, we can get along without dragging those young kids up here.
Oh, why don't you button up your lip? You're always squawking about something. You got more static than the radio.
Oh no, smoking pot is making me watch a community theater production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Thankfully, he saved one of those blocks of cheese from getting burnt. The movie does have its priorities, though. Give the audience an erection and they'll be forced to sit through the rest of your seminar. This is Jack and May, a couple of drug dealers who spend their time giving weed to kids, or 30-year-olds playing kids. You can tell that these are drug dealers who are living in sin. Why else would there be a pillow on the floor? This plot is commencing at breakneck speed. Sorry. Great, now I can continue being a smartass. Yep, these are the teenagers of the film. They shouldn't be smoking pot, they're gonna be retiring soon. And there ain't no law against oogling.
Hey, how do you like that? Very nice.
Ooh, that tennis racket has all the stitchings. Poor Jimmy has to sit in the back seat since he's 5 years old. Yeah, you people are all laughing now, but you haven't seen this crazy mixed up world that these characters are living in. My God, these people need pot! Well, okay, maybe not this guy. He may have chopped up 5 people before coming to this party. There really should have been a disclaimer on the poster about the hardcore dancing.
Boy, he really swings out hot with a mess of jive. You want to dance?
Do it.
Oh, it's nice to see how Elaine Bennis's parents met. Can we please get some black people in here to invent the hustle, or the twist, or just dancing in general? Oh great, hatchet-wielding Harry found the weed. Good, that'll calm him down a bit. As for everyone else...
You know, after that session we had yesterday, I went home and told Mother that the trouble with her pot roast gravy was she hadn't added 3 heaping teaspoonfuls of olive oil.
Goddamn potheads always stuffing their faces with gravy.
Gosh, hot chocolate. Thanks, Mrs. Lane.
And here come the sweets and that vulgar language. By the way, this is the teens not on pot. It's weird seeing Snobby before he was transformed into a ventriloquist dummy. You laugh, but being made of wood makes me a constant hard-on. Snobby! Oh, goddammit, I got distracted.
How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Your acting career ain't going anywhere beyond this. Cut that shit out. And now she's pregnant. Let's go somewhere less scandalous and more wholesome.
He was not. I saw him out walking with his girl. Bill's got a girl. Got a girl.
Mom, make him cut it out.
You're 30 years older than that kid. While he's playing grab-ass with Dickie Rich, the most confusing thing about the movie is that I can't tell if I'm just being introduced to these characters or if I've seen them before. Everyone looks the same. Best go down to the soda shop so they can get something safe, like Coca-Cola made from real cocaine. David Helfgott is getting a real kick out of this, and wouldn't you be? movie is secretly about PCP. Move over, Caligula. This party is one tub of lard away from a marital fisting. 1930s porn is like beating off to the blouse section at a Goodwill. Now this party's getting good.
Oh, here. If you want a good smoke, try one of these.
It's a parliament. You can bite down on the tip while taking a shot at that Hitler. Well, now he's gonna be too tired and paranoid to do anything dangerous. We gotta stop that marijuana. Little do they know that this cigarette roller can also be used as an adding machine. The benefits of pot never end. But then someone has to come along and be a party pooper.
Listen, you never heard no beef when I had to sell that rotten gin.
You're after the dough, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't need dough that bad. Taking two-bit pieces from kids.
There are millions of two-bit pieces just begging to be taken. Don't be a dope.
I'm just dope enough to draw the line selling hop to kids.
I don't speak 1930s.
I only wish you had a couple of kids so I could...
Get out!
You should have let him finish that sentence. Why does he want you to have kids? What's he gonna do to them? Finally, the truth is revealed that pot makes the film speed up in fast motion, but you still shouldn't have let Jimmy drive. Turns out that guy was Albert Fish. Jimmy did everyone a favor. Jimmy is sober now and realizes that he did something terrible. He ran over a guy without thinking to take his wallet afterwards to buy more weed. This case is going straight to the FOBOI. Dr. Carroll decides to interview some students, so why not start with those who graduated 10 years ago?
Isn't it true that you have, perhaps unwillingly, acquired a certain harmful habit through association with certain undesirable people?
Undesirable people, huh? You're not talking about his dancing buddies, are you?
Oh, come on, Jimmy, please, let me hug. Okay.
I knew it. They're devil worshippers possessed by Satan. Someone has the munchies. A big bowl of mashed potatoes with a plate of bacon. Oh no, she's choking. Give her 30 CPR. Also, I do believe this is 1930s anal, mouth-to-mouth kissing. Never mind that, Lucy and Schroeder finally hooked up. Perhaps the mood would be better in here if it weren't for all of this weed laughing.
Come on. Oh, come on. Come on, Bill. Come on.
Each one of them makes for a better Joker than Jared Leto. Now the cops are here to deliver the 100 points to Jimmy for running over the old guy.
Was the person killed?
Fortunately, he wasn't, but that's still no excuse for hit-and-run driving.
Crap, what do you mean that's no excuse? That's always my excuse whenever I run over old people. Mary searches all around for her brother Jimmy, and not even a young Ernie Coach Pantuso has seen him. Mary soon looks for Jimmy over at Jack and May's, the House of Drugs. We're in between the comedy bits, so Zeppo Marx is here to make the audience swoon for a few minutes. This is a riveting sequence. Excuse me, some of us are trying to eat dinner here. He just told the aristocrats joke and she's pretending to get it. Unfortunately, Ralph smoked a new kind of marijuana called a rapist.
Oh, Mary!
I've seen the message boards on Passengers. Any minute now, someone is going to chime in to say, I don't understand how what Ralph did was so wrong. Somehow this fight causes Jack to come in and break it up, but he didn't hear anything when the rape was going on. Wood! Something else to make a bong out of! Right now, they're thanking God that they're not in Jack Webb's jurisdiction. There's only one thing left to do. Plant the gun on Bill and blame him for all of this. It took me until halfway into this movie to remember all the characters' names and that they're actually different people. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that. Jack meets up with Jimmy and lets him know that he's just too clean-cut looking to play Eraserhead. Perhaps they can reach an understanding.
Nobody will ever know you were driving that car.
Well, thanks, Jack.
Just as long as you keep your mouth shut that you were ever up in May's apartment.
Why, sure, Jack, sure.
See? Marijuana makes everyone help each other out! Bill is now on trial for the murder of Mary, and great, this guy again.
In another instance, I happened to attend the recent interscholastic tennis matches. And while Bill Harper had been considered an exceedingly good player, I saw him miss the ball by as much as 3 or 4 feet. This, I understand, could be attributed to the use of marijuana.
Yes. Can we talk about Dr. Carroll's apparent gambling addiction and crippling debt? This is the worst character witness I've seen since Dr. Francis B. Gross testified on behalf of O.J. Simpson. Wow, it's true. Rubbing 2 fingers together can start a fire. Jack and May are too busy keeping the mosquitoes out. It'll really harsh their buzz. The verdict is on its way, but the real story is that this is taking place in the same universe as Dick Tracy. Then why do you want to get rid of pot? That's the best way to watch the Dick Tracy movie. William Forsythe has a flat head in it. Typical sentimental drama, always turning into a courtroom movie. Why are prosecutors always so biased against the defendant? They need to be more objective. Perhaps the jury can see through this ruse.
But there's a reasonable doubt about the boy's sanity.
We can't. No doubt about the fact that he murdered her. He admitted it himself. That wasn't the first time he was there.
Worst adaptation of 12 Angry Men ever, and I've seen the Pauly Shore version. This case has me on the edge of my seat. No one will be seated during the riveting verdict sequence. No, seriously, it's taking the jury forever to sit down. Bill is found guilty, and then, I don't know, it's off to lunch and a scotch. Ralph, meanwhile, grows more crazy and paranoid by the day. Gotta be the bath salts.
May!
What do you want?
Bring me some reefers.
On one condition, you stop calling it reefers. It's like the dialogue was written by a church group or something.
I want to see Jack. Jack. I want to see Jack.
Why? That's Coppola's worst movie. I don't know why they called this one of the worst films ever made. At least they're not CGIing the smoke. There's only one thing left to do. Must get rid of Ralph.
I know what you want. You want to kill me.
You're crazy. Take it easy, kid. I just want to talk to you.
If ever there was an actor to deliver the line, "We're gonna be pals, right?" It's that guy. Ralph defeats Jack, though, and Harley Quinn is getting a laugh out of her Mr. J. Soon they get busted for a Class A overacting and are hauled off to jail. May comes clean that it was actually her as No-Face, and we're just not ever gonna mention Jimmy running over an old man again, are we? Or that crazy Ralph never got sober and grew up to annoy the residents of Crystal Lake. They must figure people in the audience are baked and have a short-term memory. Why else would they show us flashbacks to wrap up a 65-minute movie? Can we hurry this along? Well, that happened because of the crystal meth. Bill is let go, but not without a stern talking to.
But, young man, although this court is convinced that to declare you guilty would have been a gross miscarriage of justice, We cannot condone your acts.
Rape and murder didn't exist before marijuana. Truly, pot smoking is the biggest crime here. Ralph goes off to an insane asylum for the rest of his life. His Riddler costume will be kept in storage along with Two-Face's. And thus ends Dr. Carroll's long-winded story of confusing pot with alcohol.
The next tragedy may be that of your daughter, or your son, or yours, or yours, or yours.
And no one ever smoked pot ever again. One of the earliest examples of an audience enjoying a film ironically for its campy appeal, the film remained a mystery for decades after its release until the 1970s when a copy of it was discovered in the Library of Congress and shown around college campuses in California to help legalize marijuana, prompting Robert Shea of New Line Cinema to redistribute the film. The movie remains a cult classic to this day, and even spawned a humorously colorized version, the comedic dub Reefer Madness 2, The True Story, plus a made-for-TV musical version. Critics, from Leonard Maltin to the Los Angeles Times, dubbed the film as one of the worst ever made, largely due to its over-the-top melodrama, misinformation, and status as an unintentionally funny propaganda scare film. But I'm sure the movie has its defenders, and for that I have to go to my even more pretentious twin brother to get that point of view. Looking at the juxtaposition of the inflection of drugs' stranglehold on the Depression-era metropolis during the height of the status quo domination of corporate greed-run America, Reefer Madness is the result of the cheese being stirred too hot in the pot of fact-based dilemma at the heart of civilization's corset. Yes, I understand your meaning. I spent half of this movie thinking the title was Kiefer Madness. I had to throw away a page worth of 24 jokes. I can always count on my brother for the hardcore analysis. Want to see more Cinema Snob episodes? Do you like movie reviews from people in cars? How about animated cat detectives? Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/StonedGremlinProductions. Follow us on Twitter at The Cinema Snob, or check out our homepage at thecinemasnob.com. And you guessed correctly, I am a little drunk.
What happened? You killed her.